Hey everybody, my name is Jesse. I am new to this world. Well, I guess maybe not new, but I'm definitely back from a long hiatus. So, just to give a quick background about my channel, my goal for this was really, you know, to reconnect with Pokemon. It's something that was a big part of my childhood, as I'm sure a lot of people my age feel the same way back in the late 90s, mid 90s. I grew up playing the early video games. I grew up collecting the cards, and it was so much fun. And I have a really fun story, I feel like, that's gotten me back into Pokemon recently. And I've decided I kind of want to jump all in. And I'm going to share that story. But today, I actually really want to focus on showcasing, what I was able to accomplish as a small child. Like, it's kind of crazy that my parents were so generous when I was a kid to just take me to card shops and let me buy packs and just rip packs all the time, because those packs are probably combined worth like over $100,000. But, that's kind of like how life goes. So I somehow managed to stumble across my binder at my parents' house a couple of years ago. And I just knew instinctively, I have to grab this. I got to bring it back. This is going to be something I never want to leave or lose. So I was at their house and I found my original binder. Okay. Now you can see all the stickers I put on it. Clearly Pikachu was, and on the back, these are like the Pokédex photos from like I think it was like yellow or red or blue version. I can't remember. Pretty cool. And this binder hadn't been touched in like 25 years. So you can imagine it's pretty wild. And I went in, and just to give you a heads up, I already went through and pulled out all of my cards. I had all of my holos in here and my bulk. And I put it into new sleeves in the 3-ring binder. I'll quickly just show it to you because I'm curious to see what your thoughts are. But I'm still impressed with just this after kind of putting everything into, online using TCG and other apps that showcase like, okay, here's how much this is really worth. I was surprised and excited. So anyway, I'm not going to go through a ton of detail, but I'll just walk through this really quick. So I organized it all. New clean, so I got a lot of Rhydon, Magikarp, Bellsprout, Caterpie. And again, a lot of these are just, standard cards from back in the 90s. But I just thought it'd be cool to show you a little bit of my journey. I collected all these cards. And the sad part, which obviously none of us knew, was like, you gotta take better care of them. And I thought, oh, they're in a 3-ring binder, these things will be good forever. It's not the case. They got whitened on the corners. Everyone knows how that goes. And it's probably not advisable for me to keep them in this, but I'm just too nostalgic at this point. So I'm going to just have to take it for what it is. So anyway, here you go. You're seeing all the cards in real time. Pretty cool stuff. Got all these energies. I also never played the game. I just collected them. Probably like most people, I still don't know how to play it. It is one of the things I'm looking forward to learning. The cool thing is, in my original collection, I actually managed to capture all the trainer cards from at least the base, as far as I know. So that alone is a cool little fun fact. And then, what's really funny is some point in like maybe 2000, 2001, I had a friend who obviously was also collecting Pokemon, and they were like, I'm so done. I'm done. I don't want my cards anymore. Here, take all my cards. And I was like, okay. And at this point, it was like base set or die. So I think he had the Genesis set, and he gave me some of those cards, and I was like, this isn't for me. But I kept them. And he also gave me all these Japanese cards, and I was like, oh, I don't really understand what these are for, but I hold on to them. Thank God I did, because you're not seeing all the holos, but here's some rare ones right here. These are the new cards that I got in like a recent eBay purchase. And then some more non-holo rares. And so this is my bulk binder. It's nothing crazy, but still impressive. This is how much I was able to hold on to since I was a kid. Now this is the big boy binder. So this is holding all of my holos and just pretty much any rare card that I do have. I'll quickly walk through this. You'll see all the familiars, and curious to get anyone's thoughts, opinions. Sure, we'll all have things to say, but real quick, I'll walk you through this binder. And so the goal of this whole journey I'm on is to finish this 151 vintage master set, or call it a master set. I'm sure people will correct me and tell me this is a master set. And I'm like, great, give me all the information, because I want to make sure I do this right. Because in like 8 or 9 years, when my 1-year-old son is old enough to understand all this, and maybe let's go 7 years or 6 years, and he's interested in Pokemon, I want to showcase them how cool all this is. Because when I was a kid, I got really into collecting like US American coins. Pretty nerdy, but it was fun because back in the day, in like the early 2000s, you could go to a bank and you could literally ask for a roll of pennies, give them $1, and you could find a bunch of wheat pennies, and those are worth more than just the Lincoln pennies, and because they're made with copper. And that was just fun and exciting. And you can get a bunch of those wheat pennies. But I remember when I brought it to my dad, he was like, "Wow, that's pretty cool. It's a little collection you got there, but you haven't seen anything." And then he pulls out this coin collection, which I never knew he had, which just blew my mind. And I just remember how cool that was to me, how exciting that was, and how I was so lucky that I had this collection that I could just kind of take on as my own and just build on it. So I thought that was so much fun. And that honestly kept me into the whole coin collecting phase for like the next 10 years. Wasn't actively going out and doing what I'm going to be doing with Pokemon, but I always had my eye out. I always got excited about something that was, a dated quarter or nickel or a buffalo nickel or an Indian head penny, just all these things. So point is, I want to do that for my son. And that's why I've started all this. I get to kind of reconnect with some nostalgia and finally finish what I've set out to do like 25 years ago, which was complete this set. And then we'll see what takes us beyond that. And I think restoring cards is a part of that journey. I would really enjoy it. I'm a pretty creative guy. I like to build and fix things. So this is kind of right up my alley. So anyway, enough of that. I'm sure you're done hearing my story, but here we go. So here's what I actually collected as a child, right? So I actually found all these cards and kept them in moderate condition. So the empty spots are for the ones that I actually didn't find, but then I sourced online. So I had a Bulbasaur, boom. Didn't have an Ivysaur. I got this one on eBay, pretty good price. Venusaur, Charmander, Charmeleon, Charizard. Wild stories on how I picked up these cards. I don't want to give up too much because I know my brothers are going to watch this channel at some point and they're going to hear the truth, but I did not pick the Blastoise. I picked the Venusaur. The crazy thing is, the day I picked the Venusaur, I'm not kidding, my little brother got a holo pack as well. He picked the Charizard. We both picked them at the exact same time. Actually insane. It would be like a viral moment. I wish we could have caught that, but there weren't cell phones back then. Anyway, at least I could do that. And then my older brother picked the Blastoise. Cool stuff. They're mine now. I'm not giving them back. All right. So moving on. So then we got the Caterpie, Metapod, Butterfree free set. We got the Weedle, Kakuna, Beedrill, Pidgey, Pidgeotto, and Pidgey. I've got a couple different rare and non-holo rares of these. All, again, collected all these, was super pumped. And I remember collecting all these when I was a kid. And I think going back and filling this in has been a really fun memory for me. And then the Raichu, such an awesome pull as a kid because Pikachu was so freaking cool at that time. So you pulled the Raichu, you knew you were onto something. So then we got Sandslash, Nidoran, Nidorina. I remember I got the Nidoqueen. I must have been like 8 years old. This was such an awesome pull again. And then getting Nidoking, like I thought Nidoqueen was something. Nah. And then Clefairy and Clefable. I remember pulling these and I was gassed. Honestly, every time I pulled a holo, but pulling a non-holo rare was like kind of like a knife in the heart. I'm sure everyone knows what that feels like. Vulpix, the Ninetales, Jigglypuff. Now, I actually have a non-holo rare Wigglytuff, but I was like, no, I have to replace all of my non-holo rares because those aren't going to count, and I'm going to replace it with a holo rare. So I picked this one up off of eBay. It's in decent condition. I'm really excited to restore all of my holos and just really make the set pop. Keep moving forward and keep me, guys, this goes out to the chat. I mean, obviously, there's a number of different expansion packs in the base set. I know, like, there's a Zubat here that's fossil. I can't remember if there was a base set Zubat, so call me out. If this doesn't fit here, I'll need to get the right one. Got Golbat, Oddish, Gloom, and I had Vileplume. Yeah, I can't ever pronounce these things right, but I try. I got this one off eBay. Really good deal. I'll probably do some sort of video kind of showcasing my strategy people are interested. And here we go. We'll keep going. So Paris, Parasect, Venomoth. Remember pulling that. That was fun. Diglett. I got a few of these non-holos. Meowth, Persian, and then Psyduck. So again, pumped for these. Didn't have to buy anything. What I didn't realize is how much money I was going to have to actually put forth to actually finish this collection. It's not cheap. Golduck, Minky, Primate, Growlithe, Arcane, Poliwag. Sadly, I don't know what happened. So anyway, I had to go buy a new one. Boom. We're back in business, baby. So got a couple Poliwraths. And the funny thing is I only had one Kadabra. Pretty sure my older brother pulled this, but we're just, you know, he may not watch this channel, so it's fine. Machop, and then didn't have a Machoke. I don't know what happened. This one I bought online. It's definitely dirty. I'm gonna definitely restore that one. And then Machamp. Everyone had this as a kid. This was like your first holo. You knew you were set. This is a sick holo, and it's first edition, but I know there's so many of them out there. It's not worth as much as you would think, but one can dream. Bellsprout, Weaving Victory Bell, is that right? Yeah. And then I didn't have a Tentacool, so I had to go get one. But you know, the nice thing is the non-holos are cheap. You can get those pretty easily. Tentacruel, Geodude, Graveler, and I got this Slowbro. Now, I'm going to definitely do some sort of tutorial on this one because you could see it up here. It's like frayed. So I'm excited to try to restore that. That's going to be fun. Magnemite, Magneton. Now, I have two Magnetons. One's the fossil version, but, you know, gotta give the people what they want. I didn't have a Farfetch, so pop that bad boy in here. A Dudo, had that. Didn't have a Dodrio. God, sound like such a... because I don't remember all the pronunciations. Didn't have a Seal. I didn't have a Dougal. I'm sure I did. I'm sure I had all these, but it's like at that age, you just don't care. You're just like, it's not holo. I don't want that. Grimer. I never actually got a Muck as a kid, so I was really surprised to know this was a holo. Pumped to have it. All right. Here comes some fun ones. So, Cloyster, I didn't have a Haunter, and when I realized that I got a non-holo Haunter first, and then I realized after I had already bought that, oh, there's a holo Haunter. And I was like, great, well, I gotta get the holo Haunter. I got a lightly played condition. I'm pumped because I never had that. And then I had a non-holo Gengar. Boom, not anymore. This one is near mint. Like, I searched long and hard for it, and I am very happy with the results. I'm excited to polish it up, make it look even more sparkly. All right, let's keep it going. So we got a card missing here. I have not, unfortunately, got my Hypno yet. Another card I never got, or maybe I had it as a kid, or I'm confusing it with the Pokemon game. Either way, it's in the mail. It's coming. I'm pumped. Here we go. Now, Voltrob, Electrode. I remember pulling this as a kid. That was an awesome pull. Not that anyone really cares about a Pokeball. Executor. That is a crazy card. The backstory on this character is wild and all the conspiracies. Let me know in your comments if you actually think that one is actually a Charmander that didn't get its flame lit by its mother. Wild. I think it contradicts what I remember watching in the Pokemon TV show, but let me know your thoughts. Yeah, I don't even know how that works, but Hitmonlee. Okay, so this one's a first edition, which I'm super pumped about, but I was told that it's not a real master set if you have first editions in a non-first edition set. So let me know what your thoughts are here. Hitmonchan, Lickitung. I didn't have a Coughing, so I had to get one. And Wheezing, the Rhyhorn, Rhydon, which I learned is actually the first card they ever made. Chansey, Kangaskhan, got a couple of those. Horsey, Seadra. All right, here we go. So then we got Goldeen, Seeking, Staryu, Starmie, Mr. Mime. This is probably my favorite pull outside of just like the fact that this card doesn't seem to hold a lot of value today, but when I was a child, I went to sleepaway camp, and I remember my mom would send me booster packs in this care packages, and I remember opening it. I got a couple packs, and I opened this one up, and it was the last night of sleepaway camp, and I asked my camp counselor to bring wings back because you don't get to choose what you get at camp. So the counselors can come back at late at night and they bring food. If you request it, maybe they'll be nice and get you one. So this guy, he brought me a couple wings. I remember smashing the wings, and I just slobbered barbecue sauce all over this card. And then, well, this is probably like my worst condition holo, probably because I got it at camp. So go figure, but good memories. Anyways, let's keep going. So we got Scyther, awesome pull. Jinx, Electabuzz, Magmar. I don't know. I dug it. Taurus. Or is it right? Taurus. Magikarp. Garrett. Definitely the OG. That's such a cool card. Let's keep it going. So we got Ditto. I never had a Ditto, and it was a shock to me that it was a holo. So that was a fun thing to find. Now, I had a non-holo first edition Lapras, but I felt I had to get the holo. So here we are. Perfect. So then we got the Flareon, Porygon, Omnimite, then Amistar. Didn't have this. Was super pumped to get it, just to fill that out. I had a Kabuto. I have a Kabutops, that's a non-holo, but obviously I had to get the holo, which I'm pumped about. And then Aerodactyl, that was such a fun pull. It almost felt like as good as Charizard, but I just know it wasn't. Snorlax, this is one of the first holos I think I ever got, so this one really meant a lot to me. And then I recently just got this one, boom, Articuno. Never even saw it outside of like promo cards, so I thought that was such an awesome grab. But I remember pulling this Zapdos, I remember pulling the Moltres. Awesome pulls. I had a Dratini. I didn't have a Dragonair. I know I pulled one before, like randomly as a kid, but I was like, ew, non-holo, I don't care. Well, I paid for it now. I never got a Dragonite, so I had to go buy one online. They are very expensive, as you can imagine. So this one is, honestly, it's like moderately played, if I'm being honest. Like the back's kind of frayed a little bit. Shouldn't have gone cheaper on it, but they are expensive and the prices add up. So I was trying to be realistic. I used to have a Mewtwo. I know I did. It's gone. I don't know what happened to it. So I bought a new one. This one, pretty decent condition. I'd say it's lightly played. Definitely not near mint. I was really jazzed to pick this one up. So there you go, guys. These are my 151 set. Almost complete. I just need that Hypno. Let me know your thoughts if you have questions. I am planning on pretty much tuning up all these cards. I'm going to restore them. I'm going to ask the chat, if there's a specific one you want me to do as I kind of work up and get better at it. I will absolutely keep you in the post. So thanks, everybody. Talk soon.